Hi everyone. Actually, one sec. I should probably share this out in places. I was not prepared this morning. Well, today, not this morning. What? Why about this afternoon, evening, whichever it is. 1 second while I just get this all shared out. Needs to go up the other page. Share. Share to page. I'm hoping I'm clicking the right things at the minute. My head is just not working. Go. Yeah, that'll do. How is everyone today? Let me actually try and get a bit more comfortable. It's more comfortable if I keep my feet on my step ladder I use for getting up on the chair. So yeah, actually before I get into all of this, anyone who uses rebuildables, if they've not got one of these, I recommend it. I absolutely love it. Because I have a tendency to over drip on things. So I've just found this is amazing. And also it comes in extremely pretty colours. And the magnets are great. I'm so easily amused, it's unbelievable. So yeah, one of the things that I wanted to go over, because seeing a lot more of it going around on like Facebook, stuff like this, and it's starting to really piss me off basically. You get like the groups which like Lab Bible, stuff like that, they've had a tendency to post all this, which is a lot of it is from them clickbait stuff, but it's things like that, they don't realise how damaging it is to the actual industry as well. So yeah, as you can probably guess, what I'm going to be on about is the whole thing which is going off in America at the minute. Well, one of the things going off in America at the minute to do with vaping. There's that much going off over there with it all. It's hard to keep track on it all at times. But yeah, the main one is all these like deaths and illnesses which have been happening. And I'm going to check something because obviously nothing pops up on here, so I don't actually. I'm going to bring it up on my phone quickly because sometimes I know Facebook doesn't like to show the comments. I've had it before where people have been commenting and nothing's been showing over there, whereas on my phone it has been. So let me just actually turn my sound off my phone so I don't get feedback on myself coming through. Shit, there we go. Hi, Jack. But yeah, as I was before I went off on one, everyone knows that I'm a me during lives. I just go off on one randomly during it. So yeah, about all these like deaths and illnesses which have been happening in America. Basically, it's actually got nothing to do with vaping itself. Well, with our side of the industry, with it all. Iris. But yeah, so I'm fidgeting about with this. I can't help it. But yeah, as I was saying with it all, is it's actually got nothing to do with vaping itself. It's mostly because it's done on a vaping device. They've kind of gone, oh, we can actually get a good thingy out of vaping to do with this and get people put off it, because it's done on a vape device, even though it's got nothing to do with actually the vape industry and all the liquids and stuff we use. Basically, what it is black market THC cartridges. So I'm going to say so a lot. I've got a feeling with this. I've lost my train of thought just for a second. So yeah, with it is black market THC. Yeah, it's an absolute pain in the arse to be at the minute with it all, because it's like people over here are getting put off it because of all what they're writing, because half of it is, from what I've heard as well, people are being paid to say it. Yeah, it is just all misinformation and people trying to put it down to vaping, just so they can actually kind of get it banned from places. It's like, well, all the other shit that's come out about vaping over the years, like diacetyl, you'll get popcorn lung. No, if you work in a diacetyl factory long enough, yes, you will. But it being in e-liquids, there's not been any proven cases of it. But obviously, it is pretty much banned substance to go into vaping products anyway. But it's like they're saying, oh yeah, if you vape that, you're going to get popcorn lung. No, you're not. If you work in the factory for years, yeah, you will. It's just they try and do this every now and again, especially like all the reports. If there's a report from an American like what's the word? Like an American company about to do with vaping, and it's saying, oh no, this is bad for you, it's worse than smoking. I pay no attention to it because I know half of them are paid off by tobacco companies, or it's done from a thing to do with a tobacco company. If it comes to any form of research done, hang on, let me try and keep up with the oh shit, and I've not kept up with these comments. 1 second, and then I'll carry on with my little bit of a tangent. Yeah, hang on, let me read that last one. Yeah, we said about the gluttony, like obviously with the VG and stuff like that, that's in it. VG is in food products, PG's in inhalers, so it's stuff that goes into your system anyway with a lot of them. But it's all these like the oils and stuff like that which are in these THC cartridges, which you shouldn't be inhaling. One, you shouldn't be fucking about with e-liquid on, well, anything like that anyway, because that's why I won't buy stuff like e-liquids that have not been tested and things like that. When you get all these people making their own like bathtub frigging e-liquids and selling it online for dirt cheap, I won't go anywhere near it because you don't know what they're cutting it with. That's what unless it's been tested and stuff like that, I will not go 2 foot near it. Or unless like myself, if I bought like all the ingredients myself online, or like some of my friends who I properly know, if they made something and want me to try it, I will, because I trust them. But anyone online on Facebook and stuff like that, and eBay and God knows what else, won't go anywhere near it. I couldn't think of another word. Literally, the first thing that came into my head was bathtub brew, because I automatically thought of like when the people they mix up the thingies of bloody like alcohol, like the moonshine and stuff like that, and do it in the bathtubs. That's the only thing that popped into my head at the time. Yeah, it's half things I know in America as well. Like tobacco companies are losing so much money because people are switching on to vaping and they don't like it. It's like why you've got half of them jumping on the whole vaping thing as well, so they can try and actually keep some form of revenue up. Because obviously I think they have to, like, I know tobacco companies in America, I think, don't they have to pay so much to the government as well for it all? But I think it's like, it's one of the most stupidest things. I've kind of gone on like from the THC stuff to all like e-liquids in general, but it. 1 second, let me try and do all that. Yeah, but I was on about I forgot the word. Research and stuff like that. If it's an American study, I basically pretty much won't pay any attention to what they actually say, because I know a lot of them are paid off. If it's a UK study or like French or German, stuff like that, I have a lot more like thinking I will pay more attention to it, because I know we're actually wanting people to be healthier, especially seeing as like over in America, the healthcare system, you have to pay for it. So I think a lot of them prefer the fact that they're going to make money from it and stuff like that. Whereas over here, it's with it being a free healthcare system, we actually want people to be healthier, because, well, we've got no gain like from getting money from people with it all, really. But I had so much in my head to say, but now I'm actually live. It's kind of all just jumbled up and coming out at random points. It's one of the great things about ADHD. Let me just hang on a sec. But yeah, it's like because I think even with America, if they do even actually bother banning vaping, it is going to cause more people to go into these black marketplaces or have like buy random crap like from people who are just trying to make shit from random bits of things, saying, oh yeah, you can vape on that, that'll be fine. God knows what the fuck's in it. Or they will go to all these black marketplaces where all this is basically started from. Hang on, shit. Comments. I keep forgetting to scroll. No, vaping did not cause my ADHD. I have had that for, well, I only found out a couple of years ago though, actually, that I had that. But it's this whole situation. This is how like worked up and ranty I can get. Well, how much it's made me. I'm even losing my words even more than usual because I'm not actually worked up over the situation. Because I've seen like loads of people on YouTube and stuff like that have done things about this. because it's getting, they're starting to take the piss with it, basically. Yeah, it's like you see with a bunch, like, especially in countries which have certain things banned, like those who have weed banned. People will find a way, no matter what, whether it's drugs, vape, stuff like that. If it's banned, they're going to find a way to do it. Everyone does with it all. But like, see, the countries in America which have legalized weed, it doesn't seem to be as thingy, because a lot of it is very regulated. That's one of the good things about over here with the vape industry. It's all regulated, tested. That's the thing that America's not really got. Because I even seen on one of these reports that I read that people have been thinking about it, that they're very slow on the fact of regulating things like this. It's like, don't get me wrong, there are, hang on. Oh yeah, to be honest, with the agency, like obviously all these prescription things, it's like I got prescribed a couple of years ago when I found out I had ADHD. I got prescribed, like, it was basically another form of Ritalin, I think. Is that the word? I think that is the correct one. And it was no good for me whatsoever. I felt like I was talking a lot faster, fidgeting more. I was unable to sleep. I was unable to eat, and I was struggling with it really bad. 1 second, I need to try and keep up with all this Public Health England and stuff. Yeah, so it's like I use CBD to help me out with my ADHD, because I found it works a lot better. Obviously, it's all fully regulated, stuff like that, and it's not got all the THC stuff and none of that in it. It's just the medicinal side of it. Luke shouldn't be watching my lives, Mum. Like, I can't, like, because obviously this is an over 18 thing. Luke should not be watching my lives. So yeah, cause, I know at one of our other stores, I think one of the customers, they'd gone to like other places to try and get hold of other stuff, than prescribed medication for their child, because they were having a lot of issues with their medication, and they were having like full-on meltdowns, stuff like that. And in the end, because obviously I know people on the internet, like I've seen posts online on the internet, stuff like that, of people going to like Amsterdam, stuff like that, to get stuff. And this other person, she went and got some of the CBD gummies, and just literally popped one in, like when they had the pack of Haribo, just like a little small one, and it helped a lot with the son. I think they were like a bit older, but because all the medication that they were being given was making them 10 times worse. And it's just a thing. It's a pain. It's like, I think a lot of places need to look at things in a different way, rather than, oh, I'm not making money on this and stuff like that. But it's like, as I said, if they do ban vaping over in America, it's one, people are going to find ways to get around it. Two, the black market THC stuff and vaping should not be linked in the same category. It's like when, although it has done some wonders over here with the TPD law, like with the regulation of things and stuff like that. Suckiness about the 2 mil tanks though. Where was I going with this? It was like, that was a pain that got snuck in with the tobacco law. It's like, we've got nothing to do with tobacco itself, so why should we be linked in with that? It's the same as vaping shouldn't be linked in with these black market THC things, because it's not the same thing at all, but we're just getting a backlash from it all because of it all. And so I'm just, you can tell I'm worked up. 1 second, let me try and compose myself for a minute. It's like when you look at half the people who've had these things in America happen to them as well, like whether they've died from it or they've ended up with like pneumonia, things like that. Majority of them have been 18-year-olds. In America, they shouldn't even be vaping at that age. And then it goes on to the whole thing about, oh, kids vaping, stuff like that. It's the same as like any teenagers and stuff like that. they're going to end up doing, half of them will end up doing or trying one or the other. It's just a kind of trying to sort it out so it's harder for that to even happen. Hang on 1 second, let me kind of catch up with this. Hang on, so yeah, and it's like I put half of it down to all these big tobacco companies trying to put a thingy on vaping, but it's like half of it is to do with America itself, and it's how they're going about it and stuff like that as well is not fair to the rest of the world. It's like India's banned vaping. There's certain places in Australia which have banned it. One of the things that does confuse me though, because I know some on about in America about banning vaping completely, then others are just on about banning flavors. It's just like, well, if you're so worried about all this stuff, what's the difference in a flavor going to actually make to it being non-flavored? That's one of the ones that does really actually confuse me, because they're so against it. It's like, oh, we'll just get rid of the flavors in it. It's just like, what's flavor really going to do? Because you got flavors in your sweets, because I know in America they do like their artificially flavored sweets, because I know a lot of them are like that. Because I tried the other day, I think it was, oh, what they call it, like the little lace things, like a Twizzler or something like that. I tried one of them for the first time the other day, and oh my god, that was so artificially flavored, it was unreal. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not having one of them again. But the Laffy Taffy was really good. I do like the Laffy Taffy. Yeah, back to what I was saying on the other thing before I went off on about sweets. But it's like, you see over time, it's like obviously kids find the way into bloody all sorts, like teenagers, stuff like that. It's like, I smoked as a teenager. I think majority of people have, or at least tried it. It's just a case of trying to make things harder. It's like, 'cause I know back from when I was a teenager, it's a hell of a lot harder for them to buy cigs now than it was back then. It's just trying to make it harder over time, because like no matter what, they're gonna, half of them are gonna do one or the other. It's like, but I've noticed they seem to be older by the time they're doing it. So like, if you look like quite a few years ago, actually I'll start with around when I was teenager. Half of them like around the age of 14, 15 trying smoking or starting smoking when I was around that age. But then you go back a good couple more years, like I'm talking about like 40 odd or so years ago, they were starting smoking at the age of 9, and no one batted an eyelid at that. And it's just a case of over time it seems to be harder and harder for them to actually pick up smoking and stuff like that at a young age. And that's kind of what just basically needs to be done with like obviously smoking and vaping. It just needs to be made harder and harder for the younger lot to actually get hold of them. Hang on, they're the same. Yeah, and that is utter shite. It's like, I don't know what I'd end up doing if they actually got rid of flavours, like say over here, because I wouldn't enjoy it as much. And I think what probably half the people would end up doing is, because I know a lot of people probably end up adding food flavourings into it just to give it a bit of flavour. I probably wouldn't recommend exactly. Actually, no, I wouldn't recommend at all fucking about with flavours. But it's like adults don't like flavours. No, yes, they do. We're also very, very fussy on what flavours we have. Because I've got some people like they like the tobaccos, and I literally, I've only ever had 2 tobacco flavours which I've thought were actually nice. Well, let me try and do that. See, I tried it when I was 14 and I did not like it. And then after that, I actually ended up starting like a good while after that. But it's like, half of them, it's the peer pressured into it, because that's how I first tried it, because I was peer pressured into it. But I know half of the kids nowadays, still half of them would still end up picking up, like, because I think smoking is usually the first thing that all these kids will end up trying anyway. Because one, it's a hell of a lot easier to go in to say if you like your parents smoke or something like that. It's a lot easier to go and just like nick one of their cigs and bugger off with it than it would be to nick with their vape device or something like that. Because I think they've noticed something like that going missing a lot quicker than just like one cig. Hi, Jake. I'm trying to remember what I've actually got over on all this because I've kind of rambled and ranted and kind of gone off on tangents really bad. Yeah, let me just I'm actually going to have a look at some of the things that I did have popped up. So I ran over about, obviously, it all being to do with about, it's not actually to do with vaping, it's the illegal black market THC cartridges. And I said obviously about all the other crap that they bring up, like popcorn, like e-cigs will give you popcorn lung. And one of the other ones, which absolutely does my nut in, is e-cigs blow up. No. Half the time when you hear these stories about e-cigs blowing up, it's because some absolute moron has decided to shove a loose battery in their pocket with something metal in there. That's one of the things that I've looked at all these, and I've even seen one which it shown this person's pocket like literally setting a light and stuff like that. And I even found on one of the things from the person who actually was, he said, no, I had a loose battery in my pocket. I've had it happen in here where one of my customers, for all you who actually come in here, you might know Stephen who comes in, usually comes in with his dog. He was literally just sat there in front of me, and next minute all I hear was going, ow, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And he literally reaches into his pocket, pulls this battery out, puts it away, and obviously, luckily, it didn't vent or anything like that. It just got ridiculously hot. And he put his keys were in his pocket. He forgot his battery was in his pocket because he left his battery in his pocket like from the night before, and then put his keys in his pocket and stuff like that. And yeah, that's one thing. It's like. Yeah, it's not the way everyone thinks how they blow up. Like, it's like trying to say that. Yeah, it's like if you don't use things properly. Like I said, half time it is due to when you see it online and stuff like that. 1 second, everyone. I'll be back in a sec.
You're still on there. You can watch.
Yeah.
Just be commenting.
Yeah, just like drop myself down.
Piss me off. We do them Americans. Oh, yeah. They all keep putting it on me. What? I don't know what your name is.
Jess.
I should know by now, Jess. I've been coming in long enough. They keep putting it on the wall. You need to pack that vaping in, Mum, and I don't want to. Because if I don't have this, I don't have me. I'll smoke.
Yeah. So you'll murder someone.
Well, I can murder someone without not smoking. Can I have 2 lemon sherbet and neon crush, please, flour?
Yeah, of course. So it's be £10.
What was it? Sorry, Flora.
That's alright, don't worry about something.
I still smoke that at weekend. Give me a pack of coils as well. I might as well take a box of 5, please.
I'm out of the minute.
Have you any single ones? Have you got one?
Which
like
one's it
5 for me pen?
I've got none whatsoever until tomorrow.
I'm going away tomorrow morning and going to the course. I only need 1 coil.
Let's see if I've got any of the. I've not even got one of the other ones. No, I've not even got one of the other
It's
ones.
alright, don't worry.
Completely out. Sorry.
Don't worry. I'll stick to them. There you go, sweet.
Thank you very much.
I'll just stick to the lemon.
Yeah.
The coils last me about 10 days.
Yeah.
That burns the coil in about 3 days.
More sugary. It's the sugar content in it.
I know you've got to get back on. Can we water that down anyway? Make it less sugary. Is there anything?
Not really, no.
So that's what's burning the coil.
Yeah,
Is that
it's the sugar
American one,
content.
that?
Yes, it is.
That's why the English ones don't burn the coils.
Yeah.
I love this.
It is really good. I've had it in the bigger bottles.
I love this too. Right, well, I'll let you get back on.
No worries.
Just as you put popcorn, I'll just type it in.
Yeah.
Popcorn, me out.
Yeah.
See you later.
I'll
come back and watch you when I get home.
No worries. See ya. Right, let's see where I'm up to on this. Right. Where was I up to now? I've just completely forgot where I was up to. Shit. My mind has gone completely blank on what I was up to now with it all. Oh yeah, about with the batteries and stuff like that. Half time when I've seen it, it's been due to people shoving batteries in the pockets with metal. Or it's like people who go and buy a mech mod or get sold mech mod when they shouldn't, and they've popped the battery in, done a build on it, not done the right build, over vape it, gets really hot and bends. And it's like people also, because it's not the actual unit itself, it's the batteries which it happens to, and that's usually due to a lot of people's errors with it all. My voice nearly went then on me. But let me see what else was on this thing as well, because I want to have a kind of rant about all these things. Oh yeah, the other one, this is actually, some of these that I'm looking at is actually on the public health matters government part. And the other one is exposure to e-cigarette vapor is harmful to bystanders. So we all know about, like, with cigarettes, secondhand smoke. Yes, that has been proven that there is issues with it. But yeah, in a lot of places in the UK, have prohibited smoking in obviously enclosed public places, even with like vaping and stuff like that. Oh no, that these laws do not cover vaping, and organisations are free to make their own policies. So yeah, I know that a lot of areas, like I know in some pubs will let you vape in them. It's at the landlord's discretion. But it's like with vaping, it's obviously it's nicotine, propylene glycol, glycerin, and flavouring. Obviously, unlike cigarettes, this is no side stream vapor emitted. Yeah. So basically, in other words, there's no thing as secondhand vaping. So there's not going to be anything coming from that. I think there's been studies, stuff like that, all done on it, and it's just like how they love to link things together. It's like, oh, a cigarette can do that, and e-cigarette can do that as well, and it's like a lot of them tend to try and link things to get rid of vaping, and it's an absolute freaking nightmare. Obviously the fun one, e-cigarettes will lead young people into smoking. If I was a teenager and thinking like that, and say I was actually on a vape device, vaping underage, that wouldn't cause me to then go on to cigarettes. I think it'd have the opposite thing, and it would kind of go, no. But obviously, one of the things that I said, obviously, shouldn't be vaping underage. I need to say things like that. But I do think, as I said before, it does need to be made harder. Like over here, it's a lot harder for kids to actually get them. It's like if someone comes in here and I don't think they look 25, because I purposely do the challenge 25. Because I've seen some 17-year-olds who look older than me. But if I don't think they look 25, I ID. Or if I have any doubt in my mind, I ask for ID. And if they go, oh no, I'm not got it on me, because I was like, well, you're not getting served unless you show me your ID. I've also had it before where some kids have been stood outside talking to some random guy. He's come in asking for things. I was like, no, I know you're getting it for them. I'm not serving you. Because obviously I don't want, I'd rather them not go on to anything like this, to be perfectly honest, whether it's smoking, whether it's vaping. Until, like over here, until they're 18 of age, they shouldn't be going anywhere near things like this. Where was I at? Yeah, because I was saying before, hang on, my mind's just blanking really bad. It's just how worked up I've got. My mind just kind of blanks even more than usual when I get like this. Basically, in essence, with it all, it's like over here, it's like you've got Cancer Research UK, loads of government things, stuff like that, showing good things towards vaping. It's like they are actively encouraging it. Hospitals have, like certain hospitals have got e-cig shops. Well, I don't even call it an e-cig shop because I don't want to have anything to do with e-cigs. But they have vape shops inside of the hospitals. The NHS are prescribing ones as well because they'd rather have people like that. I've had like women come in before who who them like obviously the smokers and stuff like that, and the pregnant, and the midwife has even turned around and said to them, obviously you need to try and knock it on the head, but I know how stressful it is quitting smoking, and they'd rather them try and transition onto an e-cig instead of actually smoking itself, because obviously that'll do a hell of a lot more damage. Because don't get me wrong, e-cigs, well, no, vaping is not like 100% safe. Nothing we do nowadays is at all. It's like I know it's 95% safer than smoking, but it's like anything you do with risk. Like half these people probably get absolutely legless and paralyzed on a bloody weekend drinking, which there's a hell of a lot more things been done wrong with that than vaping has. Like the amount of people that have died due to excess drinking, stuff like that. Yeah, that's one of the things that they don't seem to be doing anything about. But yeah, on the original point of it all, just to kind of clear everything up for everyone, is because I've had a few of my customers come in and ask me about it. Obviously, if you want to discuss things further, feel free to message the page, things like that, and we can kind of have a jabber about it there. But yeah, it's all this shit that's going on is nothing to do with vaping itself, not to do with our side of it all that we do. It's literally just down to black market THC stuff. And it's the amount of times I've nearly gone on rants on Facebook on like my friends' posts because they've posted stuff to do with this, and I'm just like, I just really want to have a go at you so badly, and then just like literally spam you with a load of links. And I've kind of like I've been biting my tongue on the situation for a bit because I wanted to do more looking into it all. But I finally got to a point where I was like, yeah, no, this is getting too much now. So I do hope this, like, for especially like the guys who come in here and stuff like that, I do hope, well, basically that if some of you have been put off vaping due to all this stuff which has been going off in social media, I hope this kind of helps you more about it in my ranty rambly going from one thing to another kind of way. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there and just literally say it's black market THC stuff that's causing all this, not vaping itself. And I really do hope a lot with the American side of things, I hope they kind of see into that more, because it's not fair on a lot of the American vapors over there that all this stuff's being done to them just because vaping's being given a bad name over there, when it's half things that are going wrong aren't actually to do with vaping itself. And it's not fair on them all, and it's going to drive people to, if they do ban it, drive people to do things like the black market THC stuff. They're going to go to them black market places because they'd rather stay off smoking, or half of them will end up going back to smoking. And that's kind of giving the big tobacco companies what they want from it all. And it's not fair. And it's causing a lot of issues for other countries because of all this in social media to do with over there. It's putting a really bad name on vaping in general, and it shouldn't be like that. So yeah, I'm going to head off because I ranted for over half an hour now, and my brain feels mushed from talking that much and just jabbering loads of things. So yeah, I will, oh yeah, I'm on forwarding. So yeah, we still got Stoptober deals on at the minute. Which will be on until the end of this month. The pictures are up on Facebook of the Stoptober offers that we've got going on. Also, we are open till 9 o'clock tonight, and same tomorrow as well. And I'm gonna head off and finish my cup of tea and try and settle my brain back down from all this ranting and raving. So yeah, I will see you all later. Bye.